Okay, I thought I would make the third part of the video series I'm doing and for genealogy that I'm sharing out. So we're going to go to this site. It's called FamilySearch. Oh, that's got me. I signed in already. I was hoping it would take me to the sign in page. Here I am up here. I'm Catherine. And so this particular website is absolutely free. It's kind of a sister website to Ancestry. It runs just like Ancestry. I believe it's even got more information than Ancestry, more documents, more census, more death, birth certificates, and things like that. And but it's free. This one is ran by the Mormon Church, and you do have to register and log in. And so I'm logged in right now under my name. When I first started this, I was pretty intimidated. I was afraid I'd make a mistake, so I made a fake email for Dad, and I'd go in as Donald Goodwin with my little fake Donald Goodwin email in case anybody yelled at me for doing it wrong. I thought, oh, they'll just be yelling at Dad, and I'll just quit the website. I was pretty intimidated, but it's a really pretty user-friendly website. And like I said, it's called FamilySearch, familysearch.org. And I do have a family tree in here. So I'll go to the family tree. So you hit family tree here, and I just will go down here and hit tree. Let me move my little box somewhere over there, maybe. So here I am. I don't have Robert's family in here, or I haven't hooked up anyone in his family. I can eventually. Forever, I ran it under just Dad only. Then after Dad passed away, I went ahead and put myself in because it just kind of makes it easier to get clearer information on Dad. So here are my parents, and there's Dad, there's Mom, and I do have Jeff and I both listed in here. If you go in here and try to see me, you won't be able to see my picture or anything because I'm private. I have Jeff in here with his birth date and his death date, just because in case any information comes through, like if something happens where I don't know, there's like a different death certificate, or if his name appears somewhere like down the road, because he has passed away, that information will come to me in an inbox here. I'll get a little notification. So anyway, here's Dad, here's Mother and her family tree. It does pop out. Let me just pop that little dude out real quick. Oh, slow today. Here's some of her family tree. It's very much like Ancestry, and I can pop it out more, but Mom's tree is pretty interesting. But here's Dad's. This is Charlie Guy Goodwin, our grandfather, Charlie. And then his dad is this A.M. Here is A.M. Goodwin. So I'm going to click on him because just before I started filming this, I thought, I wonder if they have the Dawes Indian rolls in here. So when you click on a person, okay, so that is his, I put that picture in. Oh, it says by Donald Goodwin. So I did it under Dad's name. And like I can do a little biography here. I need to kind of get one together. Anyway, his name here, he's born in Alabama. I can't remember if he was already in here or if I added him in here. Then this is his wife, Maggie Crooks. These are all of his children. And then here's his dad. So that's how it works here. This is him, his wife. If he had another wife, like let's say that she had passed away and there was another wife, then he'd be down here. You'd have another opportunity down here. We may see that yet. But anyway, so this is just the basic details of his life. And then you hit here, you have a timeline of his life, how things happened and played out in his life. And then view a record hint, review and attach. So I'll just do that real quick. And this is how they review records here. Johnny, same thing. Velma Cemetery, this is him. And what do they want me to do? I'll say attach. And so it's all attached and it's all done. And so now I've put that find a grave in his his biography or his records. So now I'm done with this. So in order to go back to his page, I just kind of click the hyperlink here and go right back to his page where I was. So that's the timeline. That's like his life spelled out. Like you could write a paragraph, put it all in a paragraph if you wanted to. Here are sources. And so I just popped in this find a grave. And earlier I was looking, I thought, like I said, I was wondering if they had those Dawes records. Well, sure enough, they do. And so I did put them in here as a source. And this record is pretty interesting. This is page 159. This stuff for John Goodwin, and it has his number that was in that Ancestry part 2, that it's 10206, I believe is his number. This shows land. I don't know how to read all this stuff. I'm not good with stuff like this, but this is for John Goodwin. And this is what the land he was given as being in the tribe of the Cherokee tribe. Then let me see what this is. Then it goes on to these other numbers, and he is John 10206. So this, if I clicked on, see, it's got 439 pages. I'd go into the next family. So I want to go back and I want to show all of these images. This is his bill of sale here. And so I go over here to tools, I say crank it over to the left, and I can make it bigger. And so you can see there's writing on the other side of this page, and it's like A.D. Davis to John Goodwin and the day that they did it all and everything. So let me click back over here, and then here's that other side of that paper. So now I need to click it around and get it to where I can read it. Left to the left. Sounds like a dance or something. But anyway, here's a land description that he got because he's part of the, see if you see down here, Cherokee by blood property. And then I don't know. This is what I'm looking into. If anybody has any great ideas, I'm all ears for that. Here's his name, witness mark by John. So obviously that none of this applied to him. They crossed it off. Go back another page, Department of Interior Commission for the 5 Civilized Tribes, Cherokee Land Office, August looks like the 23rd, 1904. And this right here is this Ramona, I think it is, Indian Territory. That was on that Dawes roll card that I have in Ancestry, so that matches up. So this, we're talking apples to apples here. It's the same person. Whether or not he's our grandfather, that's what needs to be decided. More description of the land, which match that other piece of paper. This goes back like 14 sheets, I believe it is what I've got in here. I've made myself some notes. More description of the land. If somebody's good with that, man, they can figure that out for me. Here's his number, 10206, John Goodwin. That is his Indian roll number. My thinking is when I get a hold of the Cherokee Nation and I pay my $35, here we go, I think this is like, they sent him a card to make sure that it was him and the place he said he was, because it came to that Ramona or whatever, Oklahoma. But anyway, I believe what I'm hoping is that when I contact them and I pay my $35 to the Cherokee Nation, they can tell me if anybody else has claimed to be a relative of his, and if they have, is it one of our cousins or like one of Charlie's family, like maybe one of his brothers or sisters' kids or someone like that, or is it not our family? Here's his roll number again, 10206. That's his number, another card. And like I said, all of this is free, and all of this in, see up here, Oklahoma applications for civilized tribes, Cherokee by blood. I do have it attached to the family tree, but in order to attach it, all I had to do was I had to hit that attached to the tree, and I say select a person. I go over here, I find John, and I select him. I say next. And I can do a description here. I've already done some descriptions. I'm not going to worry about it. I just want to make sure that I keep it attached to him in the tree. So I am going to now, so this popped open a new screen. So I'm going to go back over here to his page. I think I'll hit a refresh here because I popped in some more information, memories. What do I have for, oh, I think it's just his gravesite markers, all I have in there. So that is really interesting. The way I found it is I went up here to, okay, so here is like your tree information. Here's the big old family search thing. I went to search and I searched records and I typed in his name, John Goodwin, and the collection I put down here, the Dawes rolls. I think I just put Dawes. And then what happened is I said, browse all collections. So all these collections are in here and they're all free. These little cameras means there's photographs of the documents. And, it's got Africa, it's got everything. Well, I don't want that. So I go to the United States. Well, you don't want all 50 states. So you go down to Oklahoma. And from here, I found the allotment for the 5 Indian tribes. And you see, here's more. I can go through this. I'm not going to spend the time to do that. Deaths and burials. I mean, so it's got all these records in these different collections. I mean, they've got a lot of records in here. Those Indian records, oh my gosh, look at that. It's over 1 million. And so look at this one, Oklahoma school records. Now that's kind of funny because I found for the Cathys in the Oklahoma school records, I have it in Ancestry. I have a lot of Cathys. Let me put Granny in here, Eunice. So this is how I just do it. I do a lot of bird walking, sadly. Eunice Cathy, Oklahoma, there she is. So here's a record of her and attached to the family tree right there. Yep. And this is her little report card. So here's Granny's report card. Let's see, it's coming up here. Eunice Cathy, Donna Cathy. Gosh, who is that? That's another Cathy. Oh, Louise Cathy. They were all going to school together. And that was their birth date. So that was like an enrollment card. So anyway, it's just kind of fun to go back and see all those old records and to think that people put this stuff in. So family tree, to go to the overall tree, I believe what I do is I go to my family tree here. Nope, I go here to this family tree. You have to kind of just punch around a little bit. So there you go. Now that we've done that, I will show you, and I've got the James Walker Cathy, Maddie Cathy. And I wanted to say that Dad was always looking, and so I've worked on him quite a bit, and so have other Cathys, other people that do Cathy or do ancestry work. See, I went in as Dad. Dad never did this. He wouldn't have the patience for it, but other people have worked on this too. Anyway, Dad was always looking for a picture of him. He said that there was a picture of him that he had just delivered the mail. He and his brothers worked on the mail, delivering mail, and he had on his chaps. He had his 6-shooter on. He had his cowboy boots and saddlebags. He had just delivered his mail out. And so this is Granny's dad. And so I just found that interesting. So I'm always looking in these kind of websites to see if anybody ever comes up with a tree. I'm sorry, with a picture. And then when I do talk to like Cathy cousins, like I talk to them on Facebook or we'll email each other or we'll see each other active in the sites. I'll say, hey, keep an eye out for this kind of picture. And I've yet to run into it, but Dad just really remembers seeing that when he was a kid. So let me put him back in the tree, get him going. Oh, I will show you one other interesting thing. So John A. Goodwin, John AMC Goodwin, whatever. His wife is Margaret Maggie Crooks. These people, these crooks, these people go off into some really interesting people. But I'm going to show you a little nifty thing about this website. You can click here and go to his page, or you can click here and look at his personal page. I'm just going to click here. And so you can see that there are 8 sources, and just like the page I showed before, the details are here, his details, his timeline, his sources, and that's where we were. And it, like, if people have a question, if they say, hey, this is really my grandpa and you've got wrong information, then you talk about it here. And memories, there's evidently 3 pictures here, okay, of his stuff. You can view him back in the tree. You can click and follow it, and it'll email me if anybody goes in here and changes anything about him. But also I can view my relationship. And that's what's really handy about this. Just like I showed you the drop down window in Ancestry, well, this is what happens here. So you go up and you can say, oh, so there's my dad, blah, blah, blah. And then you can find out how you're related to people. It says right here, he is my second great grandfather. What's interesting, if you do a search for a person, like if you're trying to find somebody, like a person, you type it in, you let's say that there's a good one, you come across a name, you can type their name in, and then on their page, they have view my relationship. And if you're related to them, you click on that and it'll show you the networking that it takes to get you related to that person, which really helps with a lot of genealogy. That's what's really nice about these websites. Oh, I clicked overview. I don't know why I did that. Let me go back to tree, because I was clicking out and I was going to show the good ones all the way out. The Cathys go out pretty far and they're from Ireland. I'll click out the good ones because I've done that on Ancestry. And then I'll go and I'll click out the Cathys. So I did go ahead and put that House of William Goodwins in there. I've just done that recently. There's Jane Taylor. And again, the women go by their maiden names. And then this Blakely, these Blakeleys and these Prathers, these are really important people during the American Revolution. They did a lot of stuff. Here's that Martha Templeton. I opened up her Find the Grave. Mark Goodwin Theophilus and Thomas William, blah, blah, blah. Henry Winch Jr., all these people. I mean, let's just see how far out they go. Oh, they stop there at William Goodwin. So there needs to be some more work done on this, but it's a collaborative effort, and I don't want to do it today. I've done it on these other trees. So I said I'd click out on Granny's people. So here's the Cathys were the Whittons are not blood related, but they were adoptive parents of Meddy J. Whitten. They're in here. But like I said, I'm trying to see if I can find where her little baby brother went. And I think I'm getting close to that. It's just curious. To me, doing a family tree is like doing a very large puzzle that's a mystery. And you have to see how the pieces fit together. Like this little Yahoo here, he's kind of a weird little son of a gun, because there's a David Brown that only lived to be like 2 or 3 years old from this area. And it may even be this Dr. Zacchaeus Brown's one of his sons. And then they did that. If they had a child and the child died, and then they had a boy and the boy died, and then they had another boy, they named that second boy the same as the first boy. And so it gets a little confusing. This guy is actually a doctor, and I don't have so much information in here about him as I do in Ancestry, and there's no memories. He had this huge plantation house, and it's kind of incredible. But let me go back and we'll pop him back in the tree, and we'll keep going out on Granny's side of the family. So we were at Caffey. The Gaffords, they're big, and they go back to Scotland, I believe. And there's a ton of Gaffords. But anyway, we stop here. I've got more in Ancestry, and there's also another website I'm going to show. But same thing, you can click here, you can look at this person here, you can make the tree all be about him. He's not a good one because there's no one out there, but let's make the tree all about Mary Gafford. So I click here on her. She didn't do anything. Oh, you can also drop down their kids and take a look. Everybody gets assigned a number. So there should be only one Martha Cathy that was born in 1855, and this is her number. Sometimes there can be duplicates, like there's a red exclamation point here. This one, needs a standardized birthplace, so that's just an easy fix on the records to go in and fix the records. But it's a very helpful, useful website. So you can look at them this way, the pedigree way, and you can look at them this way. It's called portrait, going up, and then over. We had the Kathy side open up, so we'll open up the Goodwin side here. So then you can see where all the holes are, what needs to be fixed. And you would just keep clicking up. But also, it has other views here. It's got a fan chart. So I'm living and I'm here in the fan chart. I'm out 5 generations. I can pop it out 7 generations. Poor Robert, I haven't put his people in here yet. But you can see your holes. I can see my holes where I need to work on things. Like for instance, this Mary S. Unknown. We don't know. We don't know who she is, what her dealio is. And you can put anybody in the center. So like we can put John Stacy in the center and say, well, I did it wrong. There's a way to pop them in from that fan chart. John Stacy, let's do tree. There he goes. Now he's in the center. And here's his parents, here's his wife and the wife's family. So anyway, this is kind of fun. And then there's another, there's a way to change. Oh, you can do birthplaces if you want to track that. So over here, let me move this. If they're in the United States, if they're from the British colonies, Ireland, whatever, you can get a nice little visual about that, their birthplaces. So it's fun. And then sources, who's got no sources, they're white, who's got 1 to 4, and then who's got 10 or more sources. So that's a good information to know, like who you need to be working on. Oh, forgive me, this is an easy way to put them in the center of the fan too. I just popped on Jane Taylor and then now she's popped in and she's the middle of the fan. It is a whole lot of fun. Now, I'm going to click on stories. Who's got stories? These people do not very many stories. So we all need stories, but that's the hardest part, I guess. And photographs are pretty hard. It's interesting. Richard Booth has photographs. Let's just click on him and see who he is. Oh, he's from England. So people have been really working on, so I didn't put this in. People collaborate. There's 63 sources. Evidently, this guy's a big deal. And so there's all these sources on him, which I find interesting on the Booth family. Gosh, I hope he's not related to John Wilkes Booth. But to find out my relationship, I just on his page click over there and we go up through the good ones, William Taylor's mother was Hannah Tone. That's when it changed to Deborah Booth, to Ebenezer Booth. So this is how it works out. He's my 10th great grandfather. Wow. So there you go. So that is this website, and this is called FamilySearch. It's free. The big thing, if anyone wanted to do this, what you would do is you would register. And sometimes I lie about my birth dates and stuff because I don't want all my information out there, or I lie about my address, or we have a home phone and I don't put my cell phone number in. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't necessarily tell them everything. I'm going to click on this. Research helps. Oh, so this is data problems, record hints, and research suggestions. And so it's a quick way to see, what I could be working on. So that's the fan chart. And then let's see, expand. So it's basically these kinds of charts. I have to pick an ancestor, and it's like if I got way far up there and I wanted to see their descendants all the way down, that's what I would do. But I just wanted you to see that there's just they have multiple ways to look at people. Anyway, this is free. What you would do if anyone wanted to, and like I said, I just myself registered and I put Robert in, is you would register yourself. Now, over here, Granny's kids, I don't have Uncle Tommy in because he's alive and I kind of try to protect people, their identities and stuff. But like, let's say that you wanted to go in, like if you're one of Harold's kids, you would register yourself and then identify your dad as uh, Harold Ray Goodwin, and he has a number, and that number is the number you would need. So I'm going to leave this up because you can see Charlie Goodwin's number and Granny's number. You right there are their identifying numbers. There could be like, I don't know, 150 Charlie Guy Goodwins in here, but there's only one Charlie Guy Goodwin with this number 9MCH, blah, blah, blah. So like I said, I'll leave that up so you can see that. And if anyone registered, like if Uncle Tommy registered, he would register under their children, and then it would show him and dad being siblings. I will show you this. This is kind of interesting. You find somebody with a lot of kids. Oh, they've got a lot of kids. So let me look at them, and then I'm going to put him back in the tree. View his tree. And so you can see over here all of his kids, and then you can spring back and look at their descendants and how they went. I mean, this is really a fascinating sight. This family, okay, so he married Margaret. This family, this Maggie Sue Crooks, there's these Crooks daughters, and there's such beautiful pictures of them. They're kind of unbelievable, but so here, this is our family tree part. You see it goes both ways. But then if we wanted to click here, see this family tree part. I didn't work on all this. This is other people. This is where you tie in together, and all the collaboration pays off because you share the load and you get the benefit of everyone's hard work. And they're kind of fascinating. You see where these people wind up. Anyway, so that is it for FamilySearch. And like I said, if you wanted to register, you find your nearest relative. I'm going to go back to our page because then I think that would make more sense to end it that way. Let me go to my home person. Here I am. And really, let me make this a little bigger. These are the numbers you would want for Granny and them. And then to Grandpa and Granny, when their pages opened up, you would see like that's a picture. Let's go back to the timeline. Nope, the details on this page here. All the family members, like Ronald's number, you could tie to that. Harold, different ones. I think I put these people in. I'm not sure. Other people may have. It doesn't matter. It's just all collaborative to begin with. And I'll go back and put it all in the tree. And that's where we'll stop. Thank you very much.